Hey yo everybody, it's Card Knock Life Plays Round 5 Jund Seasons Past. We win the die roll, we're on the play. Let's go. So we decided to play first. Pretty good hand here. We got some interaction, we got Olivia as a finisher, we got a man land. So pretty simple, straightforward here. Fetch either basic swamp or shock land. One with basic swamp to preserve our life total because I know I was playing against an Inquisition. It turns out we're playing against Death Shadow Abzan because of the Windswept Teeth. And so this hand is pretty redundant and pretty tough to beat with Inquisition. Double Death Shadow, double Fatal Push. If our opponent uses up his fetch land, he's not going to be able to Fatal Push Olivia. So I'm looking at Death Shadow as the thing that I need to interact with. I have one Terminate. There's two Death Shadows, so I take a Death Shadow. I think it's pretty straightforward there. Opponent cycles Street Wraith, has an unknown. Doesn't break his fetch land. We played tapped Raging Ravine. Burns his fetch land. Takes two. And doesn't do anything with it. Cycles a second Street Wraith. Plays a second Overgrown Tomb. Plays a Grim Flare. So we terminate this Grim Flare. Because we just don't want it to hit us. But we wait for a minute. He already cycled the Street Wraith. He Inquisitions. We terminate the Grim Flare so he doesn't get a free trigger. He takes Tarmogoyf. Plays Death Shadow. And Fetch Land. So Fetch Land has Fatal Push. Which beats our Olivia. So we just play a Fetch Land and don't cast Olivia. I'm not 100% sure why I cast Olivia. I was hoping he would just break his Fetch Land and run out of Fetch Lands. But we end up just taking 5 from the Death Shadow here. Opponent has 8, so it's very likely we can kill him quickly. Welcome to the miracle of Death Shadow. We fetch a tapped Shock. And we draw a Tarmogoyf. So we don't take 2 life, and we just play Tarmogoyf to eat the first Fatal Push. Our opponent doesn't really break his fetch. Keeps the second Fatal Push and 2 unknowns. So we draw Abrupt Decay to kill the Death Shadow. I decided against playing Olivia, just trying again to see if he'll actually burn his fetch. But he has a second fetch, so now we should just play the Olivia. Abrupt Decay comes down, targeting the Death Shadow. He breaks the fetch, takes some damage. I didn't Abrupt Decay until he broke the fetch to make the Death Shadow lethal. Then I just Abrupt Decayed it. And he plays Liliana the Veil and makes us discard the Olivia, which is a little rough. Oh, he doesn't actually even make us discard. So this is where the game gets a little tricky. We play our fetch land, we cast our Olivia. He doesn't break his fetch land and kill the Olivia. He instead just edicts us with Liliana, which is fine. He doesn't have anything though. So we just break our fetch, put a tapped land into play. Draw a bolt. I just fire up the Raging, or I actually just hold the bolt to try and bait our opponent into plussing Liliana, discarding a card, and we kill it. And he takes the bait, and we kill. We end up not killing Liliana, but just doming him with the bolt. He finds a Mishra's Bauble, discards a fetch. So we're going to activate our Raging Ravine, get our opponent to Fatal Push the first one, because we still know that he has a Fatal Push. She has a Fatal Push. Raging Ravine gets Fatal Pushed because it's lethal. We have a Fatal Push for a potential Death Shadow. Opponent goes to 1. Opponent does not find a Death Shadow here. But we discard. And then I just fire up the old Raging, or fire up the Maelstrom Pulse, kill Liliana. Trying to play around a removal spell. Just don't want to like fire up the Raging Ravine, attack, get removal spell, and then have them have a Liliana on 3. Opponent finds Death Shadow. We find P and K Nalar. P and K comes into play, makes a couple Thopters. And it turns out our opponent has a bevy of removal spells. Fatal pushes one of our Thopters. Untaps. Fatal pushes the second Thopter, which is unfortunate because we would have liked to have had another mana to throw those at our opponent at 1 life. Attacks with a 12/12 Death Shadow. We're forced to chump, but we have Raging Ravine to crack back for the victory. So here I kind of got caught up in thinking. I'm like, well, I can play Liliana, but I can't get back P and K, but I can get back Tarmogoyf, and play Tarmogoyf, and then block, and then plus, and then activate Regenerate the next turn. But really, like any of the lines I have that involve being dead to my opponent having a Path to Exile or the fourth Fatal Push. Um, the abrupt decays are less relevant against Rage Intervene, but there are only 2 left. If I would have had a 7th land in play, I would have just played Liliana, minused it, grabbed P and K, and slammed it, and had enough blockers for this that he was just dead. She was just dead. But it turns out we didn't end up having the 7th land, so I just fired up the Rage Intervene and hoped for the best. And when my Rage Intervene went into the red zone, my opponent conceded, which was great. And then game 2, we are on the draw. Opponent, we sideboarded. We boarded out both of the Thoughtseizes, one of the Lilianas, one of the Lightning Bolts. We brought in a Pulse, an Abrupt Decay, a Damnation. 1, 2, 3, 4. A Pulse, an Abrupt Decay, a Damnation, and a Nihil Spellbomb, because I assumed he was on Traverse the Uven. She was on Traverse the Uvenwald. And they had Grimflayer for Delirium, so blowing up their graveyard would be very useful. So we keep our 7. Opponent bobbles themselves. Doesn't like it. Shocks themselves. Thought seizes us. Takes our Abrupt Decay. So it looks like our opponent's setting up an early Shadow that we can't interact with. We play a Shock Land, take 2, play our Nihil Spellbomb to disrupt his or her Delirium strategy, so that if they go for Traverse, they are in trouble. Turns out opponent misses on 2nd land, so it gives us some time to set up Tarmogoyf. But it looks like we just don't play Tarmogoyf out of fear for getting traversed without being able to cantrip. So we fetch, tap land, send it back to ourselves. Play Wooded Foothills, probably fetch Basic Forest here. No, we fetched Overgrown Tomb and took 2. We were just being very cavalier with our life since our opponent only had 1 land and was at 15. And we just jammed a 4/5 Tarmogoyf. Leaving up our Spellbomb to draw a card and be able to brick their Delirium. Street Wraith gives them Delirium, so if he were to traverse, he or she was to traverse here, we just blow the bomb on their yard. I think we end up blowing the bomb on their yard to draw a card anyways. Cut them off of Delirium. They're at 13. We draw a 2nd Tarmogoyf. It's great. End up playing the 2nd Tarmogoyf just to have another 4/5 beater in play with a Fatal Push. Opponent being at 9. Opponent plays Death Shadow, and that's Curtains. We killed Death Shadow with a Fatal Push and attacked for the 5-0 victory. Pretty straightforward. This one is unfortunate. Our opponent had no lands this game. This game would have looked like it was going to turn out to be a really tough one for us. We boarded out Liliana. They were on a Lingering Soul strategy post-board. Really needed that Liliana, but we did. If we drew another land, we had access to Olivia and red Lingering Souls. So we had kind of 2 counteractive elements to Lingering Souls. It was just a matter of do we put together the pieces to beat Lingering Souls fast enough. So, but opponent dies to our 10 power of Tarmogoyfs. And we get to take it to the house and pick up our 8 treasure chests and our 80 play points and move on with our lives. Again, everybody, this is Season Pass Jun with a 5-0. Card Knock Life Plays. Thanks for watching, everyone, and have a wonderful week.